Good morning, everybody. Thursday, the 19th of March, 11 o'clock here in New Zealand. And as we've been doing now over the last few weeks, we come back on a Thursday after our Tuesday chat show to talk about the teams that are playing in Super Rugby this weekend. Plenty of talking points to look at. And if you have any questions, just throw them in the chat comments or the chat in the YouTube live, and we'll try and answer them the best we can. Big shout out to Four Square Franz Joseph there on 24 Main Street, State Highway 6 down there. Franz Joseph for helping us bring the show to you. Check out their Facebook page as well for all their awesome specials. So to Josh and the team, g'day. So yeah, basically what we've got to do is have a look at what's what and key ins and outs and everything like that for the round. And you know, huge games coming up. I mean, there's a lot of players being rested, etc. So we'll jump straight into it. If we have a look at some talking points to look at throughout the show. The Highlanders, well, Hugh Renton, he returns after a long-term injury. Passatar gets his start at number 10. New stub, Horowhenua Kapiti boy, he could debut off the bench. And Jonah Lowe returns to the midfield. While the Hurricanes, we will be seeing Numua and Umua both starting, which is awesome. Peter Larkai is back in the fold. Billy Proctor returns to the midfield, so he will be on fire. Big news with Ruben Love starting at number 10. Excuse me. And Vernon Basson potentially will make his debut off the bench. And then, of course, we'll have in the Crusaders, and we'll excuse me, we will look at this in depth a little bit later in the show. But Cooper Grant will debut at number 10 with Rehana, Kamara, and everyone else out injured. 3 injuries at number 10 for the Crusaders. Will Jordan will step up as captain with Havili injured. And, of course, Newell will bring up his 50th game for the Crusaders. So that's awesome to see. And Curtis McDonald may make a potential debut off the bench. It's interesting we say potential because we all know the bench gets cleared after 60 minutes. Over there in the Blues, Slater and Martinger, big Sam Martinger, awesome to see. He'll be starting in the front row, East Coast, Buller, Tasman, everywhere else player. Awesome to see him get a start. Rappling, he earns his first start at number 8, while Christie, Finlay Christie will start at 9 and Knock will be with Sam Knock ruled out with injury. Sullivan, he will come back into the starting 23, and Peyton Spencer, it's Carlos Spencer's son, could be making a debut off the bench once again. The Drua, well, they're just making two changes to their team after a strong win there last week, and they're sticking with a trusted 6-2 bench split. And Tonga Tama returns at hooker. And then if we have a look at the other teams there, 2 changes in the Waratahs with Amatisero and Harry Potter coming back into the squad. Joey Walton, he's going to play his 50th Super Rugby game. George Jorgensen, leading try scorer, he's one of the leading try scorers. He's switching wings. But the Waratahs, they haven't beaten the Blues since 2015. Is this going to be their week? Their year. Moana Pacifica, huge news. The bus is back. Julian Savia returns to the starting lineup. First home game of 26 at North Harbour. Joel Lamb, he'll earn his first start at halfback after Augustin Pulu. He got, suspended for 3 weeks for that high tackle. And Nico Jones will start at number 7. Yep, Michael Jones's son. So it's awesome to see the amount of generational change in what's happening in the world. Of course, Slipper chasing the major career milestone this weekend. Slip on the slippers is the hashtag to support him as he breaks Wyatt Crockett's record of 202. When he comes out, he'll be playing Super Rugby game 203. Amazing effort. Corey Toole, he returns from injury, and Scott and Kale will come into the loose forwards. Of course, they're taking on the Chiefs. Jacobson returns with the captaincy at number 8. Satiti, he's still out with injury, and Simon Parker will be on the bench, up and coming, All Black, of course. And in the Reds, Jock Campbell, he'll earn his 100th game for Queensland. Volavolo, he's back in line for a potential debut off the bench, with Gordon McWright and Nangor both all rested. So awesome to see all the all the highlights for this round. It's actually quite huge. Sorry, I just noticed. So quick shout out to Clarence Morena Clarence, thank you very much. And to Hannah, good morning. Thank you for watching. And so to everybody that is watching this preview, thanks. That's all I can say. So if we have another quick look here at the Player of the Year title, at the moment, Tavatavanawa and Donaldson and Jorgensen leading the way on 22 points, with Charlie Kale, Caleb Clark, Quinn Tupaia and Will Jordan bringing up the also-rans. It'll be interesting to see, because Jimmy Tavi is basically, he's playing well, but he's playing well, if you understand what I mean. Expect a huge match for him this weekend against the Hurricanes. Good morning to Mike. He's a busy man today. Up the Stags, he's saying. So good on him. So you'll be listening to me unless anyone else jumps on with the invitation that we sent out. Top try scorers so far this year, Charlie Kale. I hope you had him in your super fantasy rugby teams. I had to rest him last week because he wasn't playing. Jorgensen, he missed out on a try last week, so expect him to come back. Caleb Clark is firing on all cylinders. Billy Proctor, again, he's going to be back this weekend as well. Same with Takeahau and Carter after their bye. Carlo Giussano, well, he won't be improving on that because the Western Force actually have the bye this week, so they won't be playing. And then Caleb Tangatau. So it's quite tight there with those top 3-4 players, and it'll be awesome game. I think we're going to see plenty of tries actually scored this weekend. So we just head straight now into the team lists, and hey, tell me what you think in the comments, because the first game we're looking at is, of course, the Highlanders taking on the Hurricanes at Forsyth Bar Stadium, 7 o'clock kickoff. And if we have a quick look here at the teams, as I said, front row again, very solid with De Groot, Taylor and Tarval. In the locks, we've got Haig and Howden, Withy, Casey and Hugh Renton back as co-captain. Number 8, Whakatava again starting at scrum half. Pasitoa starting his first game, as we mentioned, at number 10. Tavatavanawa and Jonah Lowe in the centres. Huge units, both of them guys. And the speed on the wings with Tangatau and Nariki and Jacob at fullback. On the bench for the Highlanders tomorrow night, we've got Vakani, Bartlett, Karltau, Cribb, Lasanga, Lennox, Newstub, and Talia. So it's going to be, well, I think it's a good squad. My buddy Mike is saying Landers are depleted, but it's not too bad, because I think they will be going quite well. We will go to the head-to-head in a moment, so we'll just have a quick look at the lineups here. The Hurricanes, of course, with Umia and Tossi there in the front row. Delaney, Warner Dearns switches back to number 5. Devon Flanders and Peter Larkeye on the side, and Braden Oasi, who I think has had a great season so far, returns to number 8. All black pairing there, I believe, in the engine room with Roygard and Ruben Love back at 9 and 10, Geordie Barrett and Billy Proctor. Yeah, the Hurricanes are looking quite awesome, I suppose you could say. It's quite an awesome team to have. Fihi and Morby. Morby moves from fullback back to the wing, and Harkin moves from number 10 back to fullback. On the bench, as I said, we've got Vernon Bass in there, Lawaki, Mafio, Plummer, Brad Shields, Karefi to come off the bench. Not bad to have him arrive off the bench. Inare to replace Cam Roygard at some stage, and Balin Sullivan to inject a bit of speed. So that is the Hurricanes lineup. We look at it head to head. To me, I think it's it's almost up there for me. It's almost game of the round. There is plenty of, the battle in the Lucy's there with Howden, Withy and Casey, with Derns, Flanders and Larkeye. I think it's going to be awesome. I think Cam Roygard and Ruben Love are going to be too powerful against Whakatawa and Positoa. And then if we look at those, the backs there with Barrett and Proctor up against Tavatavanawai and Jonah Lowe, I think we're going to see some big hits there. Jonah Nariki, he'll be up against Josh Morby on the wing, with Caleb Tangatau and Fihi on the other wing. And then it'll be a battle to see how Callum Harkin reverts back to the fullback position. So the keys from that is, as you can see there, Levinini and Dunshay, Cameron Miller and Talia are all out of the Highlanders side. With I just don't understand why Levinini isn't getting more game time. Haig and Pasatoa there are coming in with Renton and Lowe, and of course they're starting off the bench. Except for Pasatoa, of course. And then with the Hurricanes, Devery, Walker-Leary, Karifi off the bench, Shields off the bench, Rover and Sullivan are off the bench. And but coming into the starting lineup, you got Proctor, Love, Oasi, Larkeye, Derns, and Amua, all after having a bit of a rest last week, I suppose you could say. But of course, some of them did get 20 or 30 minutes on the field. So, our predictions on this. Well, of course, there's only one way I'm going to go, as I sort of just scratched my eyeball. And I'm saying that the Hurricanes will win this by 12. I think it'll be a close match under the roof there at Forsyth Park Stadium. But I think it will be an awesome matchup and a great way to kick off the round 6. And I've just spotted there that our good friend Clarence has also said Hurricanes by 12. So Clarence, you can continue watching the show. So that is the Highlanders versus Hurricanes. We now move to this gentleman. I mean, really, everything's been said about James Slipper. Okay, he's Australian, but really, he is a legend of rugby union, and a huge congratulations must go out to him, because on Saturday night, he will be coming through and picking up that, 203rd. I mean, what a crazy number of Super Rugby games. 203 caps is just an amazing feat, really. And we congratulate James Slipper on achieving this milestone. Pollard, Breen, they'll be backing him up quite nicely in the front row. Nick Frost is back there at lock with Neville. Valentini and Rory Scott, as we mentioned, back on the Rory Scott back on the side of the scrum with Charlie Cahill back as well. Lonergan and Declan Meredith. I think the Brumbies learned from their defeat last week against the Fiji Drua not to play around with. You've got to start your best team in Super Rugby this season. It has been proven once or twice quite a lot. And teams that start off with their B-sides tend to be chasing games down. So the Brumbies are wanting to sort of hit the ground running, I suppose you could say. And so it'll be an interesting to see how different they play to how they played last week. And in the backs there, of course, you've got Crichton and Pritchard in the centres with Corey Toole back from injury, and Kai Oates on the wings with Andy Muirhead giving up the captaincy back to Ryan Lonergan, but he's still there at fullback. On the bench there, we've got Byron, Shoop, Alatini, McPherson, Raymer, Thorne, Edmund, and Austin Anderson. So the Brumbies are looking quite strong for this match, which will be kicking off at 7:30 in Australia, 9:35 here in New Zealand on Friday night at Canberra. And who's going to be taking them on? Well, it's the Chiefs. So they've had a week off, and they'll be looking forward to getting their campaign back underway. Prophet, Taka'ahau and O'Neill were there in the front row with Josh Lord making a welcome return, and Tupai Vai gives up the captaincy from the last time round as Luke Jacobson is back at number 8. Simon Parker there coming in on the flank with Jerome Brown. Cortez Ratama still gets the nod at halfback, and of course Damian McKenzie there at number 10. Strong centre pairings there between Tupai and Rona, and Nanai Saturo, after announcing he's off overseas end of the season, and Leroy Carter moves from the left wing to the right wing, and Coombs Fabelin will be at fullback. On the bench for the Chiefs, we've got Thompson, Norris, Dyer, Arkoi, Finau, Rowe, Jacob, and Fakiti. So the Chiefs are ready and rearing to go. If we have a look at the heads-to-heads here, though, I mean, this is a bit of a battle royal in itself. As I said there, it's hashtag slippers for slipper. So if you've got any photos of you wearing slippers, post them to all the socials with that hashtag, and you might get a shout out from the Brumbies. But I mean, that front row battle is going to be huge. The scrums actually is going to be a talking point, I think, in this match. They're both all, I mean, when Charlie Gale comes up against Jacobson and Parker takes on Scott and Valentini takes on Brown, I think it will be quite good. And then, of course, everyone will be keeping an eye on how Damian McKenzie goes up against Declan Meredith and Lonergan over Ratama. It's All Blacks and Wallabies all over the place here. And but I think it will be an awesome matchup, that one. I think Saturo will have it over Oates, myself, and Corey Toole and Leroy Carter. Well, they are actually really, really, how can I say this? How can I say it? I think I can't remember what I was going to say. I was looking at some quotes here that have come through. We will go to the ins and outs. Maybe that will refresh my memory. Mike Shearno, legend of the game, of course. He's talking about James Slipper, and with Mike saying that the Hurricanes, the Chiefs, the Highlanders are depleted. Mr. Brian Bias has come on to say, Mike, sending excuses already for your boy Jamie. But anyway, as we move on, Clarence is going for the Chiefs to win this by 8 points, and because and then of course the other comeback is depleted because of the Crusaders discipline act, depleted by Crusaders grub acts. So hey guys, I love your arguments. But in the ins and the outs, of course, James Slipper, he did have a rest. He's back. Neville, Kale, and Lonergan and Meredith, they're starting with Tool and McPherson, Taya Tualuma, Raymer, and Edmund are being moved to the bench. And and for the Chiefs there, we've got Prophet, Lord, Jacobson, Nano Asatura, and Rona back in with Kimura, Akoi, Finau, Fakate on the bench, and Narawa has been given the another week off. So everyone is going the Chiefs to win this. Back at home in Canberra, I might have to go the other way, gentlemen and ladies that are watching the show. I might have to go to the Brumbies to take this out. They'll want to celebrate James Slipper's 203rd in style, and I think they might get up by about 5 points. There you go. It will be a close match. I think James Slipper will get up and do it quite well. Mike Sheehan has just said that Edmund's podcast was pretty good. Well, yeah, I'd like to think our podcast is pretty good too, Mike. And he's saying the Chiefs should win. Well, he's going the Chiefs. I'm definitely going the Brumbies to win this by 5 points. One of us are going to be right. One of us are going to be wrong. So that will make an interesting show on Tuesday. So that's the Brumbies and the Chiefs. Then on Saturday, we head back to Fiji. Wonderful Fiji, where the sun always shines. Well, does it? Watching the weather again, it looks like they're in for more rain. And, of course, they're heading back to Churchill Park in Lautoka. We all know what the conditions were like there when they took on the Hurricanes. And, of course, Fiji, though, are proving that at home in the wet, they are almost unbeatable. Their skill in wet weather rugby has something to make you go, wow. They're taking on Queensland Reds, who are coming back into form, I suppose you could say, after a very slow start. And the Drua, well, they've made very little changes to their squad, while the Queensland Reds, well, they'll be looking for Harry. I mean, they're missing Mick Wright, and I think that's going to be a problem. And they have been playing around with their squad, i.e., like the Brumbies and the Hurricanes did. And I think this might bite them on the bum myself, because if we have a look at the lineups there, you know, Kalina Thomas against Frank Lamani, I think Lamani will have it all over him. Armstrong Ravula up against McLaughlin Phillips. Again, I think McLaughlin Phillips will be finding it hard to make any headway. I just like Fiji Drua. I really, really do. And as I just mentioned there about the Lautoka field, you know, they've had a couple of weeks to get it ready. And as Mike is saying, hopefully the field's been fixed, and he's going for the Drua to win this. Oh, there's just far too many changes for my liking here. One change, and they're both still starting. Salawa is in the starting, Murray's out, but on the bench, right? But then look at this. The Queensland Reds are resting Nongor, McWright, Wershon, who's been the number one first scrum half, Carter Gordon, who's been on absolute fire for the Queensland Reds, and Josh Fluke, all been rested. No disrespect to Bloomfield, Bryant, McLaughlin Phillips, Pasami, Thomas. It's just too many changes from a winning team. So you go into Fiji, you're thinking you're taking on one of the worst teams, and as Hannah McCallie is saying, yeah, the Drua. So I'm going to actually have to go Fiji Drua to win this, and I think they might actually win well. I think they're going to win by at least 10 points. And I think it's going to shake up a few, because, you know, the Drua know they've got away games coming up, and they need to pick up as many points at home as they can. So I'm sure Glenn Jackson will have them fizzing for this match, even if it's wet. So to me, the Drua to take this game out. We then moved down back to New Zealand, to North Harbour Stadium, and we've got the Moana Pacifica side who just started off really well, but have sort of fallen off the pace, and hopefully they can grab some more, I don't know, form from somewhere. Not many changes in the side. As I said, Nico Jones comes in. Miracle's still leading the side. Joe Lamb, Pellegrini there. But I suppose the big news would be Julian Savia. He is back in the centres. The bus and Lalamilo. It'll be interesting to see. And it'll be interesting to see how well Savia does go. But it's always good to see him back in the fold. Not much changes there on the bench either. This game, of course, kicks off at 7 o'clock on Saturday night. If we have a look at the Crusaders, and this is where I've just jumped into, Clarence Campbell is saying also that the Drua will win by 8. But, I mean, how unlucky can one team be? James White, shoulder, out for the season. Rivers Reihana, concussion. A graduated return to play, whatever the hell that means. Concussion, Taha Kamara, graduated return to play. I just find these interesting, these phrases they come up with. So now the Crusaders have a first 5. Cooper Grant, 10 caps for the Tasman Marco, 5 caps for the New Zealand under-20s, out of Nelson College. So big test for the young fella, and making his debut against Moana. I think he'll be looking at something really, really awesome there. If we look at the lineup there for the Crusaders, we got Brewis, Bell, and Newell there. Newell bringing up his 50th game. Cahill and Jamie Hanna on the locks. Blackadder, Johnny Lee, who impressed in his debut last week, and Christian Leo Willie has been making every post a winner. Noah Hotham has to pair up with the debutant Cooper Grant. Dallas McLeod, Braden Enor there in the centres with Reese, Fiaki, and Will Jordan will be leading the way for the Crusaders. Leatu, Bauer, Calder, Shelfoon, Safuolo, Preston, Fungan, Lestafai, Anuku, and McDonald are on the bench. So if we take a look at the head-to-heads here, unfortunately, it's just the teacher and the student, really. The Crusaders being the teacher, the Moana Pacifica being the students. They do have a good record at North Harbour. They get good crowds there at North Harbour. But at the end of the day, I think it will be, I think it will be really hard for Moana Pacifica because, as I said, if we look at the changes there, I mean, Taylor, he is out. Williams last week of suspension for him as well. But Cody Taylor, I think he's out. Mike is asking the question, has he been dropped or on AB's rest? I believe he's out with still getting over a couple of those niggly little rib injuries he's got there. Reihana, he's out. Harvili, he's out, injury. But George Bell, he comes back into the fold, and he's a very apt hooker to have there. McLeod, well, he's ever present, isn't he? And Jamie Hanna, he's doing quite well for himself. But again, I suppose all eyes will be on Nico Jones to see if he's got any of his father's talent and magic. Lamb and Savia there with Paia and Pulu, who's out. I don't know why we got that there, but he's out for 3 weeks because of suspension. So, Mike is saying by 20. I'm going to go Crusaders to win by 35. that's what I think. I think the Crusaders will be wanting to really start ramming it home as we get through this mid-season. I think, yeah, Poro Moana Pacifica I mean, this might come back and bite me on the bum. But, hey, you know, just my opinion. If you've got an opinion, throw them in the comments, like everyone has been doing in the show. And I'd like to thank everybody for watching the show. So anyway, after that, we then head over to Australia. And as I said, poor old Waratahs. They started the season again really, really well. And they're starting to slide. Jake Gordon still leading the team there at number 9 with Depranishi at number 10. Samu, he's been playing well at number 8. But they're just missing something. Jorgensen has swapped wings. He's replaced Sid Harvey, who moves the fullback. Harry Potter's back on the wing after being on the bench last week. Monunu, Kalia, Amone, Blythe, Talatana, Wilson, Crichton and Pullman are on the bench. This game, of course, kicks off at 7:35 Australian time, 9:35 New Zealand time. Be interesting to see the weather. There is a bit of a hurricane heading towards Australia. But I don't know. Mike is saying the Blues to win by 15. The Blues do look good. Yeah, I know a few people will go, what? You're saying the Blues look good? Yeah, they look good. But my problem is this one here, number 9, Finlay Christie. Why anyone's still with him, I don't know. It's just me. But Bowden Barrett, Aki, Lamb there, Caleb Clark, Kodavai, he's been showing some speed. San Sullivan as well. On the bench, you got Mullen, Tupaia, Renata, Clark, Barnes, Furanaki, Taeli, and Peyton Spencer, of course. We look at the head-to-heads, though. The Waratahs haven't won since 2015 against the Blues. Ooh. Because Mike is saying the Blues to win by 15, because Clarence is saying the Blues to win by 10, I will just have to make it interesting. And, you know, I just mentioned Peyton Spencer, Carlos Spencer's son, to come off the bench. Mike is looking forward to seeing him play. But I think the Waratahs will take this out by 6 points. There you go. Doing that to keep it fresh and have a great discussion on Tuesday. Say, told you so, or, oh, well, you know. Whereas my buddy Jeff Audi would say, oh, you've been kissing your bloody sister again in Auckland, or whatever he wants to say. But, yeah, no, I'll go the Waratahs to take this out because, as everyone knows, I can't pick the Blues. It's just not in my DNA at all. So the ins and the outs of all of that, though, for the Waratahs, they've made only a couple of changes there with Emma Tessero and Adamson and Potter coming into the starting side, with Blythe going to the bench. Charlie Gamble, he will be a loss, and Hendren out as well. But then if you look again at the changes, there's a lot of changes going on with a team that's been winning. Kirk Eklund is out, replaced by Slater. Renata is on the bench, but Martanga is starting. Rappling, Satutu is out, about time, but he does give away a lot of penalties. Sam Knock is taking a break with Finlay Christie. Taeli on the bench with Aki and Sullivan on at fullback, and Cole Forbes having the break. So where are we with all of that? I think it's just going to be a great week. I think it's going to be a great weekend of rugby, as I said. So it'll be interesting to see how everyone does perform, because literally winners this week, we've got 3 teams all on 3 wins, with the Hurricanes, Blues and the Brumbies all there. So someone's going to sort of break away from the pack a bit, and other teams will be looking at trying to get back into that top 8. I mean, when you think of it, you got the Western Force, Moana Pacifica and Fiji and Drua. They'll be, all 3 of them will be looking to somehow get their season back on track, because at the moment, those last couple of spots is a battle with the Highlanders and Crusaders just sitting outside the top 8, or top 6 or whatever it is. So yeah, that's about it. So that's the show for Thursday. Enjoy the rugby this weekend, everybody. Don't forget, you can still walk everywhere. So hopefully the petrol prices aren't too bad for everybody at the moment. But until next week, again, quick shout out to the team there at Foursquare, Franz Joseph, Josh and the team for helping us bring the show to you. And but that's about it. So I'm going to sign off, and I'll see you all on Tuesday, 11 a.m. for the wrap on this weekend's matches. Let's see how many we got right. Catch us all on the flip side. See you later.